In that day men shall cast away their idols of silver and their idols of gold, which have been made for them to worship, to the moles and to the bats, to go into the caverns of the rocks, and into the clefts of the ragged rocks, from before the terror of Yahweh, and from the glory of his majesty, when he ariseth to shake mightily the earth. Cease ye from man, whose breath is in his nostrils, for wherein is he to be accounted of? Yeshayahu chapter 3. For behold, the Lord, Yahweh of hosts, doth take away from Jerusalem and from Yehudah support and staff, the whole support of bread and the whole support of water, the mighty man and the man of war, the judge and the prophet, and the diviner and the older, the captain of 50, and the honorable man, and the counselor, and the expert artificer, and the skillful enchanter. And I will give children to be their princes, and infants shall rule over them. And the people shall be oppressed, every one by another, and every one by his neighbor. The child shall behave himself proudly against the old man, and the base against the honorable. When a man shall take hold of his brother in the house of his father, saying, Thou hast clothing, be thou our ruler, and let this ruin be under thy hand. In that day he shall lift up his voice, saying, I will not be a healer, for in my house is neither bread nor clothing. Ye shall not make me ruler of the people. For Jerusalem is ruined, and Yehudah is fallen, because their tongue and their doings are against Yahweh, to provoke the eyes of his glory. The show of their countenance doth witness against them, and they declare their sin as Sodom, they hide it not. A lamenting be for their soul, for they have done evil to themselves. Say ye of the righteous, that it shall be well with him, for they shall eat the fruit of their doings. A lamenting be for a wicked one, it shall be ill with him. For what his hands have done shall be done to him. As for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. O my people, they that lead thee cause thee to err, and destroy the way of thy paths. Yahweh standeth up to contend, and standeth to judge the peoples. Yahweh will enter into judgment with the elders of his people, and the princes thereof. It is ye that have eaten up the vineyard. The spoil of the poor is in your houses. What mean ye that ye crush my people, and grind the face of the poor, saith the Lord, Yahweh of hosts? Moreover, Yahweh said, Because the daughters of Zion are haughty, and walk with outstretched necks, and wanton eyes, walking and mincing as they go, and making a tingling with their feet. Therefore the Lord will smite with a scab the crown of the head of the daughters of Zion, and Yahweh will lay bare their secret parts. In that day the Lord will take away the splendor of their anklets, and the calls, and the crescents. the pendants, and the bracelets, and the mufflers, the head decorations, and the ankle chains, and the sashes, and the houses of souls, and the amulets, the rings, and the nose jewels, the festive robes, and the mantles, and the shawls, and the satchels, the hand mirrors, and the fine linen, and the turbans, and the veils. And it shall be that instead of sweet spices there shall be rottenness, and instead of a belt, a rope, and instead of well-set hair, baldness, and instead of a robe, a girding of sackcloth, branding instead of beauty. Thy men shall fall by the sword, and thy mighty in the war, and her gates shall lament and mourn, and she shall be desolate, and sit upon the ground. And 7 women shall take hold of one man in that day, saying, We will eat our own bread, and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name. Take thou away our reproach.